शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल கண்ணுக்கு கண்ணாய் கண்ணின்றி காணுனை காணுவதெவர் பார் அருணாச்சலா காந்தம் இரும்பு போல் கவர்ந்தென்னை விடாமல் கலந்தென்னோடிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா கிரி உருவாகிய கிருபை கடலே கிருபை கூர்ந்தருளுவாய் அருணாச்சலா கீழ்மேலெங்கும் கிளரொளி மணியும் கீழ்மையை பாழ் செய் அருணாச்சலா குற்றமுற்றறுத்தென்னை குணமாய் பணித்தார் குரு குருவாய் ஒளிர் அருணாச்சலா கூர்வாள் கண்ணிய கொடுமையில் படாதருள் கூர்மெனை சேர்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா கெஞ்சியும் வஞ்சியாய் கொஞ்சமும் இறங்கிலே அஞ்சலென்றே அருள் அருணாச்சலா கேளாதழிக்கும் முன் கேடில் புகழை ஏழு செய்யாதருள் அருணாச்சலா கையினில் கனிமுன் ரசம் கொண்டு வகை வெறி கொள்ள அருள் அருணாச்சலா கொடியேட்டடியரை கொல்லுனை கட்டி கொண்டென் வாழ்வேன் அருணாச்சலா கோபமில் குணத்தோய் குலியாயனை கொட குறையன் செய்தேன் அருணாச்சலா கௌதமர் போற்றும் கருணை மாமலையே கடை கணித்தாழ்வாய் அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா
यस्यान्तर्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो नानपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वरिशिष्ठान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभितां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तिदया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधाद् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम् शोणप्रभं सोमकलावतंसं पाणिस्फुरत्पञ्चशरेक्षुचापं प्राणप्रियं नौमि पिनाकपाणेः कोणत्रयस्थं कुलदैवतं नः योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् So this year Ramana Jayanti we have done our yajna of meditating on Bhagavan's Akshara Manamala as usual, but with a difference that all the devotees who are longing to listen are physically separated by space. But the moment you listen or you meditate, there is neither time nor space. Bhagavan asks in Ulladinarpadu, Nam indri naal edu naad edu naadum kaal, Nam udambel naal nattul naam paduvam. If we are the body, we will be limited in time and space. But Nam udambo, are we the body? That's the first question. Are we the body? The body is not me. The body never says I. No limb in the body feels itself as I, throbs as I. Something else, entirely separate, self-effulgent, it shines forth as I. As the Upanishad speaks of various Mahavakyas, Mahavakya means any word, one word that can give you realization is Mahavakya. So too, if we take Bhagavan's teaching, one Mahavakya I would like to tell is Bhagavan in Tamil, it is Irundu Olir. In Sanskrit we can say Sat Chit. Sat means existence, Chit means it is shining forth, it's awareness. Irundu Olir, it exists, it shines forth. And Bhagavan says that is Arunachala. Arunachala is ever experienced by all as the I am. The I am within. The I am is light. It is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha. Shankaracharya puts it, Swabodhe na anyabodhecha. In that self-effulgence, you don't need any other light to illumine it. It is self-illumining. As you don't need another lamp to illumine a lamp. Yatha deepasya na anya deepecha. As the deepa means light. You don't need any other deepa. You are the deepa. The Buddha's last words of teaching was that. And Ananda, Buddha's attendant, very close, intimate disciple or devotee, we can say. He was constantly with Buddha, serving him day and night. Before that Mahanirvana of Buddha, Ananda asked him, please give me your essence, the cream of your teaching. Then Buddha said, Atma Deepo Bhava. Be a light unto yourself. Be a lamp unto yourself. You are the lamp, you are the light, you are the flame, you are the effulgence. By your light, everything is illumined. The world is seen through the eyes. Without eyes, you cannot see the world. Without the senses, world has no existence. And all the senses are there in the mind. So dream without any outer world, you create, you project. And in deep sleep, when all the senses are swallowed, the mind is subsumed. Neither the world exists nor this jiva bhava, this individual sense, this ego, I, it also disappears. Absolute quiescence, tranquility, quietude, no creation. When the mind flames out, creation comes. When the mind is blown out, when the flame of mind comes up, creation is there, it emerges. When it is blown out, world is not. And mind expresses itself as I thought. You can see, observe. Bhagavan says, without this I thought, no other thought is possible. These are all great explosives, spiritual explosives. Or you can say the greatest medicine, the greatest antidote for this dire disease of samsara. Samsara means what? Mind only. There is no samsara apart from mind. What we call as samsara, where is it felt? Misery. Where is it felt? It is felt in the mind. If there is no mind, some people, they become, forget everything, amnesia. Everything is deleted. They don't even remember their name. When you consciously keep the mind in the heart center, when it is still, you have created a deluge, a spiritual deluge within you. Everything melts away in that deluge, in that pralaya, prakarshena laya. No world, no body, no intellect, no I, nothing is felt. Mere existence, Satchit. As I said, Satchit. Sat means it is. Chit means it shines forth. That easiness, and it shines forth. This is felt by all now, here. Everyone has the experience. We are sure about only one thing, that is I am. And that I am is Satchit. We are sure only about that. We are not sure about God, we are not certain about other planets. Long back we were studying 9 planets, now I think they say only 8 planets. We don't know future what they will say. The other things, outer things, we are never sure. We are never certain. But we are sure there is certitude in one's own existence, undeniable. See what a great sthanu. See, yesterday Bhagavan revealed sthanu. Sthanu means pillar. Arunachala is pillar of fire, no? Children, when they whirl around, they hold to a pillar and go round so that they will not fall. Like that, this going round in life, in samsara, you need a pillar which will never shake, a pillar which will never fall. And that's sthanu, that pillar is you yourself. You are the fulcrum, you are the center. Your own inner being is the sthanu, as we said, prajnana ghanam. Prajna, na antah prajnam, na bahih prajnam, na ubhayatah prajnam, na aprajnam, prajnana ghanam, adrishyam, avyavaharyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintyam, avyapadeshyam, ekatma pratyayasaram, prapanchopashamam, shantam, shivam, advaitam, chaturtham manyante. The Upanishad says that is the advaita, that is the turiya, fourth. It is the chaturtha, it is yourself. It is prajnana ghanam, it is condensed awareness, condensed consciousness. It has already happened to you, your own existence. The undeniable certitude is there. Nishchaya. Everything else, it moves. But nejati, this center, there is no ejru kampane, no kampana, no shaking. It is stable. So once you hold this sthanu, your mind has been searching and searching and searching, right from the atom to all the galaxies, it was searching for certitude. Once it has found the certitude in its own womb, in its own source, in one's own existence, then there is no more shake, no more kampana, no more throbbing. It is still stable. And that is Satchit, existence awareness. Irundu olir. This is actually essence of Bhagavan's teaching. Bhagavan gives it in his Arunachala Ashtagam. இருந்தொளிர் உனை விடுத்து அடுத்திட தெய்வம் இருட்டினை விளக்கெடுத்து அடுத்திடலே கான். You are seeking God, but to seek God, ignoring what is ever experienced as this existence awareness, is like taking a lamp and searching in darkness for light. You are the lamp. And with the lamp, you are seeking in darkness. Wherever you put light, there is light. Because the light comes from you. You see, the world exists. This exists, that exists. Every existence comes from the existence of this I, this aham, this Brahmavastu. That is why the Upanishad says, Satyasya Satyam. That is Satyam. The world looks Satyam, true. Because it partakes the truth of your existence. Your light is taken, and with that light it appears to be real. So the reality is the Atma, the reality is your own self, your own existence. And to know that existence, Bhagavan has given us the mantram, I, that aham. The implied meaning of aham is Satchit. I don't say Ananda. Chit itself is enough. Chit is Ananda. When you come in contact with Chit, Ananda is yourself. Bliss is yourself. Bliss, when we use the word bliss, people think it as an excitement. It is Shanti, pure peace, pure release from all duality. It is a great Vishranti, relaxation, complete restfulness, complete freedom from all tortures of samsara. That is called Samadhi. So, that Samadhi is your real nature. It is the self. Samadhi is the self. It is the Satchit. Tat Sat. It is the Tat, it is the Sat. It is the absolute. It has happened as your own existence. Sat. In your own beingness. In deep sleep, everything is taken away. Whatever you hold on to is removed. Your healthy body is erased. Your meditative mind is erased. Brushed. Wiped out. The so-called I who is seeking mukti, he is also gone. The bhakta, the yogi, nobody exists there. Then what exists? Satchit. The Sat exists. That is why you wake up and say, I was not aware of anything. And the Chit aspect is what invites you every day. You want to go there. It is Ananda. It is Ananda. So, you want to go there. Lose this egoistic world. The phenomenon which the ego is holding. You want to be free of this turmoil, this struggle. And be in that Satchit. To consciously go there, you have to explore, or you have to, the whole sleep process has to be reenacted. As Tirumular says in Tirumandiram, how to see Shiva? Tirumular says, Tungi Kandar Shivalokamum Tamulle. They saw the world of Shiva. They saw Shiva's expanse in their heart by the process of sleep. The Upanishad says, Chandogya Upanishad says, sleep, death, these two, Bhagavan explored death, but he taught only sleep. Bhagavan had that death experience, but the whole talks, Bhagavan says it is not necessary that you also should go through death experience, but every day you enter the deep sleep state, where you have the same experience. It is teaching you, demonstrating you that self alone exists, and that self is not you, the ego, and that self is not the mind, and that self is not the intellect, and that self is not this body, this world, this duality. Everything is gone, complete freedom. So that is your real nature. To go and touch that center while awake. That is the word, awake. The Upanishad says, be awake, wakeful, uttishtata. To be awake. It is, first we are habituated by sleep for innumerable lives. What were we doing? Only sleeping. All our so-called achievements are only dreams happening in sleep. Yada anadi mayaya suptaha yada jiva prabudhyate ajam anidram aswapnam advaitam buddhyate tada. Gaudapadacharya says, when the jiva wakes up from that timeless maya, beginningless maya, then what happens? Ajam. Then he realizes that he is birthless. Anidram. He never sleeps. Bhagavan, many seekers, sadhakas, contemplatives, they all ask one question: Usually they say a jnani never sleeps, or jnani is awake in sleep also. So naturally this doubt comes. So they don't sleep. But if you observe, all the enlightened beings will have all these states. And somebody asked Bhagavan, will a realized being sleep? Bhagavan said, why not? If he can have waking state, sleep is also possible. Dream is also possible. But he is not identified with it. He is not identified with it. In deep sleep he is also awake in deep sleep. So many seekers who practice who am I, they try to be awake in deep sleep. In the process of trying to be awake in deep sleep, either they lose sleep, the rest that you need is gone, or you go to sleep. Only these two things can happen. So this awakefulness is not yours. This waking I cannot enter deep sleep. The thing is, the jnani knows that he is not this waking I. He is that Satchit. His self has taken a paradigm shift. His attention has taken a shift from this I to the self. We can say the I and self. The I is not the self. From the ego to the real self. So in deep sleep, the ego is not operating, but what exists then? Somebody asked Bhagavan, what is there in deep sleep? Then Bhagavan said, ask this question in deep sleep. How to ask this question in deep sleep? It is not possible. But you contemplate and contemplate and contemplate and recognize there is a connecting link. You recognize that the deep sleep state is mere existence, simple isness, beingness. And that beingness is ever awake. Once you have come in touch with it, you are ever awake. You are not bothered whether this ego I visits or goes. Ego I is only a visitor. It is in the waking state. It is not there in the dream. Somebody else takes charge. Night duty. That night duty is someone else. Waking state, you want to sing, but nobody is ready to listen. But in dream, you sing before 1,000 people and get a national award. It is quite possible because the dream ego is someone else. So it's another state actually. You can say it's another state. At the same time, you can say this waking state is also a dream. Both belongs to same stuff. But your real self is untouched by the waking or dream. It is ever itself. It is mere simple isness. To come in touch with that state, you inquire, you start observing the I. Just question the I. What is this I made of? The whole purpose of Bhagavan's teaching, Bhagavan's grace, is just give your mind a turn, an about turn, to just look at the I. To look at the I. He sat there revealing that state. 54 years, Bhagavan was only doing that. Somebody will ask Bhagavan, give me upadesha. Give me some upadesha. Bhagavan will sit silent, unmoved. Then they will ask Bhagavan, we asked for upadesha. Bhagavan will say, that was what I was doing. But you didn't get me. That is the real upadesha. Brumaha khalu tvam tu na vijanasi. Shankaracharya says, the Guru is constant. A Jivan Mukta need not give upadesha. A Jivan Mukta is upadesha. His very existence is upadesha. His very breath is upadesha. His very movement is. A sage, a saint of Kerala, Narayana Guru, was going in a train. Somebody was sitting nearby and he asked Narayana Guru, who are you? which class, caste you belong to. Narayana Guru said, you are seeing me, no? What do you feel? He said, I could not make out by seeing. If you could not make out by seeing, how can you understand by saying? So if you cannot make out by seeing a Jivan Mukta, how much can the words? Words are only just to confirm what you experience in his presence. Actually, the presence is the magic. The presence, the Sannidhi is the magic, We are now getting used to online. But the real line happens only when you are tuned. I don't say in online it will not work, but bhakti can make anything happen. That is quite possible. Bhakti can make anything happen. Even thousands of years back somebody was there, you have bhakti now, you have their vision. So spiritually there is neither time nor space, nothing happens. But you are online only when your heart operates. The real center works. You get connected. The link happens. Tene Brahma Hrida. Bhagavatam gives the secret. It says, how is Brahman transmitted? It is neither transmitted through intellect nor transmitted through senses. From the heart to heart it is transmitted. And heart, Bhagavan used to say, when heart speaks to heart, where is the use of these words? When heart speaks to heart. And what is this heart made of? It is the Mauna. It is the all-pervading power. And that power is very much active in a illumined being. To come in, somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, Sharat Chandra Chakrabarti, one of Vivekananda's close disciples. His conversations are all recorded. So there he asked, Swamiji, can you give me in one word? In Ayurveda they say Ottamuli. Ottamuli in Malayalam they will say single tablet, single herb, single root which can cure the disease. Like that, there is one medicine, one thing that is the sole cause for realization. And Vivekananda said, Guru. That is the one word he said, Guru. A realized person, an illumined being is the sole cause, is the solitary cause for realization. Then Sharat Chandra Chakrabarti asks how it happens. A strange power emanates from him. That is how somehow you sense. Many things we will not be able to outwardly understand. See, actually, we see each other. Sometimes we touch. Certain things we taste. But we say animals are more activated by smell. They mostly identify people and objects through smell. That much power we do not have. But, science says, actually, we are also interacting much with smell. We do not know that. It is also influencing our thinking, our behavior, everything. Like that, in bhakti, they use this phenomenon. In satsanga, you have a smell. With that smell, that fragrance, that sacred smell, you understand the presence. In Tiruvachaka Manika Vajakar says, how do you get Shiva is here? He says, Shiva is here. How you got Shiva? Poovil naatram poonru uyarndu engum meviya perumai. He says, like fragrance coming out from a flower, that Shiva is emanating from that scent. Shiva is everywhere, parimalam. Once I was doing Bhagavatam. Formerly, I was deeply into Tiruvachakam at that time, perhaps. Too much Tiruvachakam was going inside. and Bhagavan's Stuti Panchakam, everything. At that time there was a Bhagavata Saptaha. Not Bhagavata Saptaham, Bhagavad Gita. And one old lady, she came to listen Gita. And I very much remember how she behaved. She sat there nearby and had a deep intake of breath. She just whiffed. And expressed in Tamil, yeah, Shiva Bhakti manakarde. She said, Shaivam manakarde. She said that Shiva Bhakti, I can get the anubhuti of Shiva Bhakti. She was a Vaishnavite. She was a Vaishnavite. She says, he is speaking Gita, but I can smell the presence of Shiva Bhakti. She was not against it. But see, this, some highly evolved souls, they just, something like a smell, the presence. Even Satyamangala Venkataramanayya speaks about Bhagavan. Says, Tarayallam Manakka. Your presence is fragrant even in the floor. You can see in Ramanashram that now. Even the floor, you feel the fragrance of that presence of Bhagavan. Everywhere he has walked. Kanakama used to tell me, each and every dust in Ramanashram, every tree and leaf, if you can decode, they will tell you a Bhagavatam. They will tell you a story, episode of Bhagwan. So in Bhagavatam, gopis, they say, Kundasrajaha, Kulapatehe, Ihavati Gandhaha. That Krishna, in the breeze, Krishna's fragrance comes. So, taking that fragrance, they go in that route, searching for him in the sand of Yamuna. So like that, so this deeper thing, it just wafts around. The presence is deeply important. Unless you come in contact, come and touch with that timeless, spaceless stuff, which they call mystic, because it is not visible. So they call it mystical. Some mystic presence. Something like that. But that is, in Sanskrit they call it as Rahasyam. Rahasya means secret. In Bhagavatam, when Lord is giving the entire Vedas to Brahma, Vedas there doesn't mean book. It means spiritual experience. So when that was transmitted to Brahma, he gives 4 things along with it. So that parampara will be built up. Good souls they can walk the path. And that 4 things are Jnanam, Vijnanam, Rahasyam and Angam. Jnanam is the scriptural knowledge, the authority, authentic teaching. And Vijnanam is experience of it. And Rahasyam is this mysterious presence, which comes through, as you know, a small tablet. It works for your ailments. Like that, some nama, some mantra, some japa, through something it works. That is the mystery, and which is beyond logic. So it is called a Rahasyam. And the Angam is the deservingness, the maturity of the seeker to hold it. If such souls are there, and if good upasana, mystical tradition is there, then experienced master is there, then good authentic scriptures are there. These 4 things are there. That makes a good tradition. That makes a perfect, well-founded tradition. And that tradition will live for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, unbroken. It is not depending on human frailty. It is not depending solely on book. Just Mahapurushas, illumined beings will just explode here, there, everywhere. You can see it happening like that. So, that there the word is Rahasyam. Just it is transmitted from the heart to the heart. It goes from the heart to the heart. And the transmitter recognizes it, and the one who receives it, he also gets illumined and recognizes it with deep gratitude, profound gratitude. So that happens. That is the greatest mystery happening in this existence. The Upanishad says, Asharya. Even Shruti Mata, Shruti Janani, the greatest mother, the most sacred mother. She is of the nature of Brahma Vidya, that Sharada Parameshwari. She says it is indeed a sheer wonder. This teacher is a wonder. The disciple who receives it is a wonder. And the very process of teaching, the transmission, is wonder of wonders. Kaushalam. It is Kuriyadu Kurithu Ariyum Neri. Arunagirinathar says, somehow a little bit of intimation is given and the disciple receives it. That's all. A little bit of intimation is given. Muruganar says, once when he came to Ramanashram, Bhagavan was not there. He was searching here, there, everywhere. Bhagavan was not found. And suddenly some intuition worked. That is what I said, smell. He started smelling Bhagavan inside the jungle. Just rushed. At that time, Bhagavan with his Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni on one side and Vishwanatha Swami on another side was inside the forest. Deep inside the forest. Now, of course, you can see that spot from the road. It is somewhere near the Draupadi Amman temple now. Behind it. So there, Muruganar went and seeing him coming with all anxiety to see Bhagavan. Bhagavan just held his finger in his nose. That is Bhagavan's expression of Ashram. He could have waited in ashram, he has come all the way to forest. And it's very difficult to find that place at that time. So, after that they just, inside the forest, they were taking leaves for dining leaves for lunch. They used to take meals in that leaf, no? So, for that they were collecting leaves. Bhagavan was speaking something, conversing with them. And Muruganar was also helping, but he will be always in an emotional mood, bhavana. And something happened. Bhagavan looked at him and made fun of him and smiled. Nagaip. And that Nagaip became initiation. It became a spiritual transmission for him. So later on he says that Ramana is not somebody outside. Ahattamarai Malarmidurai Arunachala Ramanan. That Ramana, where is he? Ahattamarai Malarmidurai Arunachala Ramanan. That Arunachala Ramanan is in my heart, in the Ahattamarai, in the heart lotus. You can call it Ahattamarai, means the very eye is the Tamarai. Aham. Ahattamarai Malarmidurai Arunachala Ramanan. Nagaittan ura vizhittan ara shaguttan enadu uyirai. He just made a nahaip. That was the subject which we were speaking. He just made fun of me. He just laughed at me. Nahaittan ura vizhittan. And with deep gaze, through which he just poured forth his grace. Nahaittan ura vizhittan. And that one look, Arashagittan enadu uyirai. My jiva bhava, my individual sense, my ego was completely rooted out. Nahaittan ura vizhittan arashagittan enadu uyirai. Appuram Jagattaruya vaguttan murai tiruvajaga nihare. That is the last line. It says that anubhuti, that experience. Muruganar says, Jagattaruya, so that the whole world will get redeemed. For that, this Muhavapuri Murugan. Murugan's name is Murugan. Muhavapuri is Ramanathapuram district. So Muhavapuri Murugan Jagattaruya Vahattan. For the sake of redeeming the whole world, he wrote this Sannidhi Murai. Jagattaruya Vahuttan Murai. Murai means just expressing one's heart. Jagattaruya Vahuttan Murai. And what is it? It is almost like Tiruvachakam. It is like Tiruvachaka Nigare. It is like Tiruvachakam. So like that, one look, one gaze deep into the self. It just lit the fire inside. So one that Kadaikan, as we said, the last some song we saw that Nagaippar, Nagai Arul Nagai Par, that Arul Nagai, with the gaze of grace, one look, and that one look, what happens? Fire is lit. That primordial fire, that Arunachala fire, is just kindled inside. And once that fire is kindled in Bhagavan's life, that fire was kindled in Madurai. When was it first kindled? He was unaware. Arivinai Marulurut. Outwardly there was a covering. A boy who was just going to school, coming back, just usual routine, going to Madurai Meenakshi temple only to play, to have games. At that time, Arunachala went there and put the fire. Agni. Shiva is Agni. There are two most important devatas in Vedas. One is Vishnu, the other is Shiva. Shiva is not said as Shiva. And Vishnu also is not like the Vishnu in Puranas. But Agna Vishnu Sajosha Sema Vardhandu Vam Giraha. One is Agni and the other is Vishnu. So Shiva is Agni. And that primordial fire. It is not this outer fire. It is the most gentle fire that is in your heart as Aham, 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 I. It is there in your heart as Ardram Jwalati Jyotirhamasmi. Jyotir Jwalati Brahmahamasmi. Ardram. It is very interesting. The Vedas say that fire will not burn you. It is very cool. That fire is very cool. Although it is fire, I don't know whether they have made some cool fire. We don't know what these modern people will do. They will make everything. So it's a very gentle fire. No? The moment you come in touch with that fire, it is the fire of knowledge, fire of awareness. It is the Chit that we spoke about. Chit. And Chit. So that Chit is there in the heart. That is Shiva. The outer whole world, everything is what we call as Vishnu. Whatever you see is Vishnu. Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. The all-pervading one is Vishnu. And one who is shining forth, illumining everything, is Shiva. There ends all the Vedic teaching. So from Vishnu, you go to Shiva. From Shiva, you come to Vishnu. This is our everyday life. The Vedic life is morning, you worship Vishnu. Because the whole day is Vishnu's department. And night, you worship Shiva. Because you are withdrawing, samhara. Everything is withdrawn, abiding. Only that inner fire is there, nothing else. Mere warmth. Mere warmth. Soothing warmth. That what we call as sleep. And suddenly everything projects itself. And creation comes. And that is Vishnu Padam. That is the word, Vishnu Padam. This Akasha, this space is called Vishnu Padam. Vishnu Padam, Vishnu Padam, both. It is the plane of Vishnu. It is the path of Vishnu. It is his color. That blue color is his body. This his Sharira. And in Shiva, there is nothing. That is why we say Sarvam Vishnu Mayam Jagat. The entire world is filled with Vishnu. He pervades everything. In Sarvam Vishnu Mayam. No Sarvam Shiva Mayam Jagat you cannot say. Sarvam Vishnu Mayam Jagat. Because in that world is there, names and forms are seen, and when you are illumined, you see it is all Vishnu. Regarding Shiva, what you say is Shivam. No Jagat, no pervading, no I, no Sarvam, only Shivam, Shantam, Advaitam. It is Shivam. Everything is subsides and auspiciousness. Shantam, peace, peace, peace. Advaitam, non-dual. No second, one without a second. So that is Shivam, Shantam, Advaitam. That is inwardly. If you burn a newspaper and keep it like that, you can see the dark paper there. It will be dark, and the letters and pictures in that paper will be seen darker in that paper. Here you can say Sarvam black in that paper. So the paper is there, dark colors are seen, like that, a state where you see the world but pervaded by divinity. You feel it. That is what color? If you burn a newspaper, what is its color? It's black. It's black. Suppose you touch that black paper, what will happen? It will just crumble. It will just wither. Everything will become dust. And what will be its color? White. It appears there are two colors. One is black and the other white. But there is only white. White appeared as dark, black. But the moment you touch it, no paper, no forms, nothing is seen. What you understood as darkness becomes effulgence. And that is Shivam. That is why the Bhasma is white. It's all burnt and you wear it. That is the symbolic thing like that. So, Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat, it is Shivam. And when that Shivam means, when through pure jnana, you hear the truth of Upanishad from a teacher, do manana, reflection of it, and deeply contemplate nididhyasana, do it, and then that jnana agni, the fire of jnana, it burns the world from your awareness. Your awareness is purged of the world. Your awareness is cleansed of your ego sense, vasanas. Then what happens? Only that liquid of bhakti oozes out. Nin eri tenai neerakkidum mun. Nin arul malai poli arunachala. Your fire, the fire of jnana, will burn everything, and only that sacred water of anubhuti will be there. Before that could happen, before that, your grace must descend. It is the pre-runner, forerunner of true spiritual experience. Of course, we can say that in Bhagavan's life, there was a period when his whole body was burning. Every seeker will experience such a state. Bhagavan had this experience in Madurai when first he heard the Arunachala Nama, then he had the death experience which burnt his body, mind, everything was removed. True jnana, samyak jnana, one stroke he was established in pure self, Atmanubhuti. Then what happened? Then he used to say, whole body is burning, 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 burning. And that burning continued for many, in bhajana sampradaya. You can see in bhakti, that bhajana sampradaya, they will put sandal paste in their whole body before they do bhajana, because that Mahabhava, when it comes, it needs a cooling mechanism. So they put sandal paste. Ramakrishna's whole body used to burn in that spiritual experience. Then all physicians were brought, Ayurvedic physicians, everybody went through his life, nothing worked. Ultimately, the Tantrika, Bhairavi Brahmani, she came and she put flowers in his neck and applied sandal paste all over his body, and everything cooled and settled down. He came out of that problem. For Bhagavan, there was no outer guru. Arunachala was his guru. His whole body was blazing forth. And it continued till he came to Tiruvannamalai. When he came to Tiruvannamalai, he rushed to Arunachaleshwara temple and he just hugged that lingam. The whole fire went there. Everything subsided there. So that incident is also recollected perhaps. Ninneri erittanai neerakidum mun. Oh, this fire will burn me. No, Meera says, Viraha Agni. That Viraha Agni is burning me. So here, Ninneri, your fire will burn me to water. I will become liquid, nothing. Melt. Neerakkidumun nin arulmazhai poli Arunachala. Give me some soothing presence, your grace. Let the rain of grace come. Let the shower of grace happen so that I will be healed. I will become cool. My whole system will calm down. It will be soothing. So Lord, nin neri erithenai neerakkidumun nin arul mazhai poli Arunachala. The true Upadesha, the genuine spiritual experience is what is referred here as Arul. Because every friction creates fire. Every conflict creates fire. And that conflict is called as Vikalpa. And the state free of all Vikalpas, all dualities is Nirvikalpa. State where there is no conflict, no duality, completely healed of all dualities. There is calmness. So, that state, Bhagavan refers, is asking for that state. Next song. This is one of the very, very profound songs. Ni naan arappuli nitam kalimayamai nindridum nilai arul Arunachala. O Arunachala, Arul, pour forth your grace. By the power of your grace, let me abide in that kalimayamai nindridum nilai. That kali means bliss, ananda. It's a sweet state, completely calm, free of all duality. In Malayalam, to play, we say it as Kali. In Tamil, they say it's Vilayat. In Malayalam, say Kali. Kali means play. It's a sport. It means expression of bliss. So, Nidam Kalimayamai Nindridum Nilai. Nidam means always, eternal. Timelessly to be in that bliss, that ananda. How can it happen? Ni non ara. The expression of conflicting feelings like I, you, he. Great friction, great conflict. When you comes, I comes. When I comes, you comes. The I expresses, actually there is only I. There is one word which has no meaning. That is you. In every language, when somebody tells you, he understands it as I. Nobody understands he is calling some you. If we say mango, you will understand mango. If I say banana, you will understand banana. But if I say you understand I. If I say you understand it as I. So there is no you. And this he is, you cannot contact the he. When you contact, it becomes you. And the you is experienced as I. So generally what exists? Only I. And when you seek for that I, it does not exist. So neither I exists, nor you exist, nor he exists. Only an infinite awareness. So ni, non are a puli. This ni and non, you and I. Bhagavan here uses it in the reverse form. Non ni, not non ni. Ni non. Because generally this I affirms when you comes. You are sitting in train, nobody bothers, no I. Somebody says this is my seat, then I comes. When you comes, this I also affirms. No, this is see my ticket. I. And this I is not real. This I, this is my ticket. See. And he also shows, his ticket also shows the same seat. Then what happened? Then you closely look, it's a wrong train. Then what happens to your eye? Gone. So-called affirming I is gone. So this I, you, he, all foolishness. The state where there is no I, no you, no he, that is called love. That is Kalimayama in Indridum Nilai. That's Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. The Samadarshitvam. There is peace. There is lightness. There is joy in it. So it is called as Nidam. Always Kalimayama in Indridum Nilai. No I in me, no I in you, no I in him. So ni non are. Puli means one, becoming one. When will we experience that oneness in all? When the I is gone, oneness naturally happens. When you seek the I disappears. And all are one. There is only one. And that one awareness is Nidam Kalimayamai Nindridum Nilai, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That Nirvikalpa Sthiti where neither I nor you nor he exists, no feeling of individual sense, no ego movement is there. No itching of I is felt. It's a Ananda Sthiti. When we do spiritual Atma Vichara, we will crave for that state. The state where the I is not operating. When I is not operating, if that state happens through knowledge, it's not simply some ecstasy. You have established in it, then no you can create I in you. Nothing can affect you. Once one ashram devotee asked Bhagavan, how to inquire who am I? He was constantly asking. Bhagavan was keeping quiet, did not answer. Many times that is Bhagavan's method. He will just keep quiet. If the answer is not forthcoming, he will be immensely in mauna. Did not answer. After that, Bhagavan went away. This person also was working in kitchen. So he went inside dining hall, and there was a quarrel between him and another worker inside the kitchen. After some time, when they were speaking fiery words, The one person said, "You do not know me, I will show you who I am." And he also said, "Do you think you can slight me? I am also not a powerless person. I will show you who I am." They were fighting like this. Suddenly they found Bhagavan standing there. Bhagavan was standing in between. They just became ashamed. Bhagavan said, No, this is the time to inquire. You feel that I protruding. It is throbbing. You feel the throb of I now. Now inquire. Now investigate. Then you will get. This is the time to investigate. If you leave it now, then it will be difficult to catch hold of it. So if you catch hold of that feeling of I now, then the mind will become attenuated. It become thinner and thinner and thinner and enter the heart center. You need not reveal it to him. You have to reveal it to yourself. In your own heart, you have to experience it. Once you experience that state of no I, only the light of awareness, that Sat-Chit, Shankaracharya says, Satta-Chit Sukha-Rupam-Asti Satatam. Constantly there is only Satta-Chit Sukha-Rupam, existence, awareness and bliss. Naham nachatvam mrisha, neither I exist nor you exist. Nedam vapi jagat pradishtam akhilam. This world also is not there. Nasti ti janihi bho. I am telling you this, I don't know why. Yat proktam karuna vashat. Some power of grace is activating me to speak. Yat proktam karuna vashat tvayi maya tat satyame tat sputam. This is crystal clear truth. Anaga, sinless one, O noble one. You are fortunate enough to listen to this teaching. It is for all of us, Fortunate enough to blessed teaching. You have received this blessed teaching. Shraddhatsvanagha. Be happy, feel your blessedness that you have got this teaching. Hold on to this teaching. Shuddha buddhi rasi chet. If your buddhi, your intellect is pure, hold on to this teaching. Matrastute samshayaha. Let not any doubt cross your mind. Let not any doubt cross your mind regarding this saving teaching, this saving knowledge. This knowledge is something which can emancipate you. It is something which can heal you of all troubles, can give you the highest state of peace. Shanti, shanti, shanti. This can burn all the negativities. The fire of knowledge, Nin Eri, as Bhagavan said, the fire of Shiva, the fire of knowledge, Yerit, it just burns all the overgrowths, all the appearances. And what remains is Tan. That is the usage which Bhagavan uses, that Tan Arul. That is Neer. Neer means water. Water means that coolness of experience, of that shanti, of that peace. You dig deep and you touch water. Like that you go deep into the heart and touch that apa, that water. Every day doing Sandhya Vandana, Brahmana, they chant that everything is coolness. The entire world is filled with that coolness. Apo va idagum sarvam. Vishwa bhutanyapaha. The universe is filled with coolness and all creatures are filled with coolness. Vishwa bhutanyapaha. Prana va apaha. The prana, the breath that is running inside, it is filled with coolness. Prana va apaha. Pashava apaha. All the animals, everyone is filled with that divine, that coolness. Annam apaha. The food that it heals. It is the greatest medicine. It is the healing thing. It makes the whole system cool. Pashava apo, annamapo, amritamapah, samradapah, viradapah, swaradapah, chandagumsyapah. Everything is cool, cool, cool. Tan arul. The grace is represented as water. And that water, it cools the system. It puts you to rest. It gives you the ultimate vishranti, that restfulness where the ego is not, you, I, he is not. And that here Bhagavan said, Neerakidum mun. Next song Bhagavan says, Kalimayamai nindridum nilai. That Kali mayamai nindridum nilai. You experience that real sport. Once you touch this bliss inside you, Vyasadeva says in Brahma Sutra, Lokavat tu Leela Kaivalyam. For the Jivan Mukta, is there a world for a Jivan Mukta? Is there a world for an enlightened being? Let it be there or let it not be there. If the world is felt, it is only a sport of divine. It's a divine sport. It is ecstasy. It is sheer divine ecstasy that is he is feeling. So, ni non arapuli. Another thing is, when the Guru is there, he is ni. And the Shishya is nan. So here, Bhagavan is telling Arunachala, when I come near you, O Lord, I come and experience your presence, and I go away, I feel separation, that pang, that longing to be again come near and become one with you. So let this game of intimacy and separation, no more of this game of pain and pleasure, coming and going. So ni non ara, the state where neither Guru nor Shishya exists, Nidam Kalimayamai nindidum nilai Puli arul Arunachala. Puli means that Pulgi. Pulgi means you just hug me, embrace me like two flames. When they embrace, it becomes one flame. Like that, Master hugs the disciple, not physically, but spiritually. It is oneness. It is oneness, one flame, one awareness, one Atmanubhuti alone exists. So, Nidam Kalimayamai nindridum nilai. It is the Kalimayamai nindridum nilai, the state of a Jivan Mukta, the state of an enlightened being. That is, once that state comes, Arul Malai Puri Arunachala. That Malai is, we can say that Vijnana Amrita, that Anubhuti Dhara, which soothes, which settles down the system. Arul Malai Puri Arunachala. Once that I, you is gone, that Jiva Brahmaikya is experienced, that Malai is, the teaching comes, Vijnana Amritam Adbhutam, Nijavacho Dhara Bhiraraditam. As we said yesterday, that cloud of spiritual experience, that cloud of bliss, which arose from the ocean of Nityananda Samudra, Nityananda Sudha Nidher Adhigata San Nila Megha. The Nila Megha, it comes, arises, it travels in the space, in the sky, in the psychic space, and reaches the spot where the suffering soul is inviting it with longing, and showers Vijnanamritam Adbhutam Nijavacho Dhara Bihi, with the words pouring forth as grace, as shower. When then the mind cools, mind attains peace, Shanti, Nindridum Nilai. Then comes Nindridum Nilai, the state where the mind stays, the mind abides. Nindridum Nilai Arunachala, the state where all this moving, all this roaming about, all this wandering is over. Nindridum Nilai comes, and that Nindridum Nilai is Kalimayamam Nilai. That state is Kalimayamai, that is peace, that is Shanti. And what is the nature of that Shanti? Ni non ara, neither I nor you. And how it happened? Puli, that Pulgi, becoming one, that that Jiva Brahmaikya, neither Jiva nor Brahman, one consciousness. தன்னை உபாதி விட்டு ஓர்வது தான் ஈசன் தன்னை உணர்வதாம் உந்தி பர. Ishvara and Jiva both have the same experience of existence. That Satchit is same whether it is in Ishvara or in Jiva. When that Satchit is revealed, when the illumining light of the Master falls in that Satchit, and the attention, Shraddha Shakti of the disciple falls in Satchit, then all this Jiva Bhava is removed. Then Nina Nare, neither you nor I nor this world nor any other power, only that Satchit, that existence, that awareness is there. And then comes that Nindridum Nilai, Sthita Prajna, that Prajna stays. That spiritual experience just solidifies and abides. Nindridum Nilai, and that happens through Arul, Bhagavan's grace, Ishvara's grace. So, with that Nindridum Nilai, this year, Arunachala Aksharamanamale, Bhagavan's Jayanti Satsanga, we are offering these flowers of words at Bhagavan's feet. What we have to remember is Nindridum Nilai. This year we have to have that in our heart. Nindridum Nilai. Let our spiritual experience be steady. Let not every wind, every storm of destiny shake it. Let not pleasure and pain create chaos in our life. That Nindridum Nilai, that stability in spiritual experience, in no time, no space, no event, no individual, nothing should shake that experience, corrupt that experience. In that incorruptible inner space, we must be established. In that Chidakasha, we must be established. Then that Chidakasha alone stays. In that Chidakasha, let Mayananta Sukhambodhau Bahudha Vishwavichayah Udeti Astamayati Name Vriddhihi Name Kshayah. As Janaka says in Ashtavakra Gita, I am the Chidakasha, the infinite space of pure awareness, which is by its very nature, it is made of one stuff, and that is bliss, that is happiness. In that space, innumerable universes, worlds are created and destroyed every moment. I neither increase nor decrease, I am the same always. That is the experience of a liberated being, a free soul. And that is you, that is me, that is everyone, till we recognize that this suffering, this turmoil of samsara continues. When that comes to a stop, that Nindridum Nilai happens. That is Shanti, that is peace. So, that peace is our real nature. Bhagavan Ramana is peace. Arunachala Shiva is Shanti. Shantam Shivam. The Upanishad says Shivam means Shanti. Arunachala is Shanti. Bhagavan is Shanti. Our real nature is Shanti. All the Upanishadic Vedic literature is nothing but Shanti. And that Shanti is Atma. Shanti is Mukti. Shanti is Atma Jnanam. The teaching of Bhagavan is nothing but Atma Jnanam. And the fruit of Atma Jnanam. A person is an Atma Jna, Atmavit, when there is Shanti in him. And that Shanti is Samadhi. It is Nirvikalpa Anubhuti. It is Shiva Anubhava. So, this we have to carry. Wherever we are placed in the world, we have to meditate on Bhagavan's teaching, Bhagavan's Nama. This Atma Vichara must be continued. For that, let Bhagavan shower his blessing on all. Hence, every song of Arunachala, Aksharamanamale is full of arul, 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 arul. Grace, 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 grace. Kripa, kripa. So that is our conclusion here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.